real estate viral trends. That's what we're unpacking today. Welcome back. It's Bruce Elia Jr., founder of ERG, Trelia, and the Red Zone Agency, alongside here with Adam. And you know what we did today? We started off with a bang. Started off with a big hot cup of coffee flowing all over my desk. And thankfully, I've got a kick-ass business partner. He ran and grabbed immediately paper towels, I don't even know. So I'm very thankful, Adam. Thanks for that. Even here, we spill coffee. That's what it's about.
It happens.
We were talking about it. Builds character. This is something that happens. So when we're exposing viral trends, trying to get everything unpacked, ready to go for you, we spill a little coffee.
Yeah.
So let's jump in today. What's true? What's hype? What's making people millions of dollars in real estate right now from the viral trends coming at you? This is Real Estate Rewired. Jump in. Exposing the truth behind real estate trends. So, welcoming to Real Estate Rewired means we are going to give you all the breakdowns of what today's viral posts and what you're seeing out there actually means in the marketplace for you to be more impactful, make twice as much money, and do it with a smile, with energy for days. Let's jump into it. We are separating noise from signal. That's what we're unpacking today. So first trend, number one, office to residential conversions. Guys, the reality behind this is very simple. There are going to be 5 different things that you need to see and understand in order to see is it an office to residential conversion. One is the high capital investment. There's a lot of capital invested into repositioning an asset versus building it new. The zoning challenges. When we talk about zoning challenges with Trelia and how we create tomorrow's neighborhood today, it involves going behind the scenes with the towns, the master plans, and understanding all the zoning. So what one zone could be, i.e. in a property we're working with right now, it's got an overlay zone. That overlay zone allows for units to go on top, and it's predetermined by the federal government. Now towns can get resistant, but that's where a good strategy and a great professionals team will come into play. Structural limitations to office to residential. Guys, we're sitting in an office building on the 5th floor right now. This building could be converted to residential units. Who knows? But what the point is that this structure is massive. And having a structure that massive requires understanding how to build corridors, hallways, amenity space existing from a prior office, prior medical. So it requires a lot, especially structural limitations that come with it. The inherent design of this building is not for residential. So what does it mean? It means you might have to change things structurally. That's why sometimes it's better to build new than it is to renovate one of these buildings. Variable viability. Only certain buildings actually have these characteristics. When we go down to Edgewater and you look at the Pearl, it was an office conversion into a luxury condo building. What happened? Tons of mistakes occurred, tons of HOA complaints, tons of different things came into play because the structure was formerly an office. What the heck? Now they built it into residential, but not all the components were intact. Even if they did the best job they could, sometimes there is those small minor variables in the way that it was built. Incentive dependence. Guys, sometimes there's pilots and tax overlays that come with these sites. The government's looking at it and there's an office to residential conversion because the building's vacant and there's nothing there and there's an incentive, boom, could be an opportunity. Cruising through to trend number 2, retail revival. Guys, it's a resurgence of retail spaces all around. All you have to do is look in your local community and see. A lot of people are going local. You got enough money to feed the business and they're micro. It's like the last stop, the last mile stop that Amazon's been implementing. So small box retail strength, it's enduring popularity. Guys, this thing is overperforming. When we're seeing numbers flex and change, we're seeing it with ideal inner product for suburbs, especially in this retail sector. Guys, service-based is everywhere right now. When you start seeing brick and mortars and they start transforming into service-based businesses, that's a good sign. It means that the neighborhood itself doesn't require all brick and mortars and does have a servicing component, and they pay premiums. They don't have hard inventory and cost. They have servicing costs, which is typically related to time. Medical tenants. If you looked around Bergen County, Hackensack Medical is everywhere. And I'm not talking everywhere, I'm talking everywhere. They're expanding so rapidly with the tentacles into the micro markets. That's allowing for great healthcare within the communities, which is a huge expanding opportunity for commercial real estate sales and leasing. Why? Baby boomer generations. I'm dealing with this right now. I just went through something really freaking tough in my own family personal situation. And I know firsthand the baby boomers need help. They need health care. They need proper stairs in properties. They need opportunities for their living to be transitioned. And that's going to require certain things. We need medical in there, and that's going to be one of the ones that you're seeing expand. Stabilized anchor stores is next. When you see good grocery stores in stabilized areas with retail tenants around it, as that's a resurgent. Everybody needs those groceries, and you probably have seen them in your neighborhoods. Now, cruising to trend number 3, industrial small bay flex space. Continued dominance in this industrial industry, especially in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, and the East Coast, has been crazy. Why? It is the #1 performing commercial asset. There is no performing asset that grew greater than industrial. I went into this business, properties at $40 or $50 a foot are now trading for $250 a foot. See opportunities, surging demand, especially in the flex space. Guys, when you see high absorption and interest in flexible industrial spaces, what is it telling you about the marketplace? It's telling you that big box, Walmart, Amazon, etc., they're going the last mile with local retailing industrial. That means that they're going into these neighborhoods to then just deliver the last mile. Huge opportunity. It's called the last mile logistics in this. Micro warehousing growth. As people are condensing, baby boomers are wanting to do a little bit less in their business, sell the business. Satellite offices and smaller flex spaces have become extremely popular and extremely affordable. Those are where you're seeing huge opportunities. And that's the highest rent growth. Guys, right out the bat, I'm telling you right now, look at the facts of the market. If you jump into a sector that's transacting at 3 times as much with a higher surge, that could be an opportunity for you to double your business. I know we focus on it here. I hope you guys focus on it there. And if you deliver excellent service with the 3-tier ERG pricing evaluation, then you're ready and you're prepared to kick ass in this marketplace. Bruce, what's the 3-tier price? Well, stop, homeowners and property owners. You guys don't know your pricing. We deliver that pricing for you in a very simple way with price per square foot, income and expense, and our dirt to dollars, the development potential. So with that said, moving forward to trend number 4, which is a hot one. It's AI in real estate. Guys, everybody's in AI, right? I'm not sure about that, because if you're an agent not using AI, you are going to get left behind by an agent that's using AI. That's just a fact. Guys, when electricity was invented in houses, we no longer lit the candles and then walked around with a steady handle with a candle. You turn the light switch on. AI is allowing you to turn the light switch on for your business so you don't gotta walk around with candles and going in there. That's literally what it is. Darkness to light, AI empowered agents. That's what we're talking about. So enhance operations. Use your AI for underwriting, for cap rates, for everything. We built our own app specifically for this. It's a very simple version of what we're doing because we want to expand and get great service, and that requires the details, but it requires it in a very simple level. So we're doing that. You should too. Enhanced operations with AI right out the gate. That's a huge trend and it'll make a big impact on your business. Deal analysis. If you're using software right now in these day and ages to analyze deals, you can do it like that. There's no secret sauce here. I'm not giving away castles. Nobody's spent hours and hours and hours on your exact analysis. If you do, shame on you, because there's ways that you can do it much quicker. I know because we handle that right here. You should too. Analyze it in minutes. You can get these valuations very quickly. And if you're a property owner that's like, hey, I'm the guy that wants to do surgery on myself when I get sick, and you want to value your asset, then go ahead and do it. But just get a professional's request for what the 3-tier valuation is that you deserve on your property as an owner. And that's the price per square foot, the income and expense, and the dirt to dollars development potential. Moving forward, if you're using AI apps and you're using tools and they work, use them. And if they don't work, seek others that do. We're happy to share our tools. Keep locked in with us. You'll know them all. It's something that you can run your business on and do it with success. Trend number 5. Multifamily market dynamics. Guys, when we're seeing the market rate of multifamilies increase, we're seeing the debts have lowered a little bit and perception of markets there. Why? Because we've had tremendous amount of construction cost increases, insurance cost increases, FEMA flood zones changing. In our area in New Jersey, one year it's a flood, the next year it's not, the next year it's a 500-year flood. Where's the consistency?
What I've learned over time and research has shown is there is none. So take what it is as for fact, use what those materials are and move forward, i.e. multifamilies. If you're selling a multifamily and you're under a 6% cap rate, your virtual chance of selling this in our marketplace is significantly low. Why? Because the debt rate is higher than that. So if you're gonna put a down payment to only pay the monthly payment every month back to the bank to increase, to have an investment, nobody's doing it. But if you do and you make some cash flow and that down payment is secured and you can appreciate the rents and appreciate the land, and in 3 to 5 years it's worth X amount more and your cash flow is X amount more, that sounds like a potential for multifamily purchase. And if you're selling, guys, 1031 exchanges are great. That's what they're there for. Sell that equity, put it into something else, get passive income on a much higher level, and grow your generational wealth. That's what we're talking about. The growth opportunity is strong. If you've owned a property, for 5 years, 10 years, multifamilies, check the value right now. Chances are you may be blown away as to what it is. And that's something that we can help you out with. Trend number 6, the NIMBY isms versus the housing shortage. And this is going to be where local and municipal housing conflict. And what happens when we get residents in communities, let's say we're taking a property in any town in Bergen County, I could say actually, and all of a sudden the residents are coming out with these big things and signs in their neighborhood, no to development, no to this, no to that. All it's telling you is that traditionally they weren't used to that. We're in an advancing society where we have to provide more product. We're underhoused by 500,000 plus homes in the state of New Jersey. We have to deliver product. As that product is absorbed, it aligns pricing. It gives you economic means. Now, of course, there's always going to be luxury, but it doesn't mean that every product coming to market is going to be that. We're providing with Trelli a product that's not all luxury. It doesn't have to be for a great fit with a great build. So when you start looking at the towns, start understanding their master plans. Start understanding what the community wants and see what you can fit. i.e., instead of us doing a 60-unit project on this piece of land, we decided to do 10 to 12 townhouses. Now, wouldn't that make sense? In this area, it does. And what I'm suggesting to you is change the way you look at it, and the way you look at it will change. That means understand the property, understand the town, talk with the zoning official, talk with the people in town that know what they're looking for. Why? Because they're called condition lists. And if a town is receptive to something, they'll give you some conditions to base this around. At that point, you know whether or not this is something that could be real or could not be. Now, every town has an affordable housing requirement, state of New Jersey especially, where they're varying between 10, 15, 20%. They often vary because of a sale or a rental product. So understand your marketplace. Is it a sale? What percentage? Is it a rental? What percentage? That's a big indicator because those units are typically, when we work with our nationals and regionals, not quantified, or they're quantified at a 50%. So if you had 10 units affordable, only 5 actually count towards that rent roll to quantify. Why? Because the rest of it's half the income. It's usually based on average median income in the town and what that is appropriate. A lottery list, they pull the ticket, they can move in, buy, whatever it is, right? Now, developer legal strategies. Sometimes we've seen these towns get into hot water. Oh, baby, they get into hot water. And what happens? Builder remedy suits happen. So towns don't want that. So they're giving vacant land lot analysis saying that they have plenty of COA units, et cetera, when sometimes they don't. Other times they do, and it's actually truthful and it's something that's above par, but that's something that we're dealing with from the development end. Moving forward to trend number 7. Reacting to TikTok gurus. Guys, I can't tell you how many Instagram people, YouTube people, TikTok that I see out there. Some content, really good. Some content, really bad. What you're seeing out there is uncredited information. What we have here, we're providing you is credible information that you can take to the marketplace, you can take as a property owner or an agent and dominate in this marketplace. When you look at TikTok gurus and you want to hop on the latest trend, what I'm suggesting is go a couple of layers deeper before you just jump all in. And that could be anything from marketing a property, selling yours, understanding its dirt to dollars potential, because most property owners fail at understanding their value. So stop failing at your value and understand it with the 3-tier category. That will make sure. So when you look at a TikTok real estate guru, you can have an evaluation on your property, understanding it in real time.
Also, can you like briefly go over like how sometimes you'll see like agents or brokers buy a listing because they just want to get the listing,
Yeah.
and they don't properly like evaluate them, so then it puts the owner in a position of going with the person who thinks, or the broker who thinks, hey, this property's a higher value. Can you go over like when somebody buys a listing and like how people should be aware of that?
Yeah, great question, Adam, and helpful feedback. What he's indicating is a lot of brokers and agents in this marketplace are just gonna go for a listing. We've seen it left and right. Don't be the property owner that gets sucked in by a broker that just wants to list your property. What we wanna do is show you results on your property through proven methods. Agents that go out there and they just say, hey, your property's worth $5 million when it's worth 2.5 are not the agents that we seek in a marketplace. They often give the property a stale image. They negatively affect that property owner. What Adam's referring to is just literally getting a listing and then never having it sold. Now, the real estate marketplace is competitive. Some of our listings sit sometimes. We're all victim to certain things in the marketplace. But if you're egregious and you have no idea what you're pricing, i.e. what Adam's saying, when we go against competition and our pricing's at $4 million and they're at $5,550,000, it becomes something of a conversation. Now here's the thing, I don't blame a property owner for wanting to maximize the value, but what you're doing in the meantime is actually selling your property for less money. And the reason being is because once you list, you have the first 30, 60, 90 days sizzling hot on the market. And if you overprice, you miss the sizzling hot part. Buyers show up, they say, hey, I've been looking, all of a sudden, new property listing, right? Submit, new property listing, boom, they've already seen the marketplace. So now when they go into it, they know whether or not the value's there, or what's going on. So when you get your offers first, the first 30, 60, 90 days, they're typically your best offers. Why? Because the buyers are the most educated in the marketplace. They've seen all the other commercial buildings around and then say that one's a good value or bad value, or based on my opinion, this is what it's worth in this marketplace. And that's great feedback. So no, right out the gate, when we're pricing, you're gonna get those offers. So i.e., even if your terrible broker prices it at $5 million, you get an offer at $2.5, $3 million, at least you're getting an offer, right? So let the buyers talk. They, with the seller, create the marketplace. So that's something to pay attention to. If your broker's telling you something that's egregious and higher level, I probably would say pause, get another opinion, and understand reality. Base it with facts and logic in the marketplace.
And comps.
Yeah, and comps. Adam, anything to add, do you think, to that?
No, I think that's good. I mean, it's just so important that that people are aware of that, because they might drag out a listing for a couple of years, and they might put themselves in a position where they are just wasting time, and then eventually that broker will tell them 2 or 3 years from now, hey, clearly there's an issue with your property, and then we need to lower the price, and then they try to get you to lower the price. So it's inevitable that if you look at the comp, that you're going to be in a position where you're going to be in level with the comps, or so I don't know.
No, well said. It's exactly what you mean. You have to understand the information in the marketplace.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you do, then you can correspondingly provide accuracy, which means you'll get the property sold. Moving ahead, trend number 8, short-term rentals. Everybody's been talking about this over the past 1, 2, 3 years, Airbnbs, right? Huge surge. We got the FIFA World Cup coming into New Jersey, and what we've got is a huge surge in Airbnbs that are going for buku bucks. So again, market challenges and emerging opportunities. What we've seen throughout northern New Jersey especially is that Airbnbs are town related. Some towns don't want them at all. Other towns are okay with them. Understand whether or not there's a short-term application, i.e. the zoning and the ordinance laws of where you're at. So if you know that you can and have short-term rental in there, that could be a great opportunity to produce cash flow. I was talking with a buddy and a friend and a client outside where he had an additional structure on his property. He was trying to see if he can Airbnb it, went to the town, understood what the zoning regulations were and how to go about this, and then added a guest house on his property, which could dub as an Airbnb. Thought it was genius and was a great value add. Why? Because now you have income coming in on the property. It becomes an investment. Emerging opportunities. So remember, short-term rentals, depending on where you are, suburban versus urban. typically urban is going to have tons more opportunities, right? Because there's denser settings. So if you go into suburbans, you have a higher vacancy rate. Don't be shocked, unexpected, because that's what it is. Or you're going to have to reduce your costs accordingly. Usually suburban versus urban is where you see a lot of the short-term rentals fizzle out into suburban versus urban. Moving ahead to trend number 9, urban infill, redevelopment. As we talked about earlier with the developers, what you're seeing across the town is not just developer wanting. Sometimes the towns actually want this. When we start revitalizing a downtown neighborhood from a town that was former to what it now is going to be, they want to see developers come in. They want to make the beauty of the streetscape a lot more attractive. How do they do that? They give incentives. So maybe they'll designate the entire town or portions of the town in redevelopment, so that we can argue as a developer, this property is in the redevelopment zone and then subject to redevelopment based around ordinances that stick with what that designation that the town's master plan wants. So understand, adaptive reuse. Maybe the buildings don't want to be torn down. Something that we did in Jersey City on Grand Street. Didn't want to be torn down, so kept it as is, expanded, added a new construction building on it. Developer was great, and they kicked butt. Now that's a good use of the adaptive reuse with incentives with the town. Transit-oriented and developer interest is always going to be there, because transit-oriented is where locations for traveling, public transportation are. Those are typically one of the most desired for developers, because they typically are taking a suburb and going into more urban settings to work, and going into New York City, going into these denser cities, you know, in that essence, to work. They make more money, they come back to the suburban house, and they plant their ship, their family, and everybody goes from there. That's going to be something attractive. What I find is that there's not that many locations constantly that have that. So what you're finding is you're going to have to go into areas where they're within reason of that. Otherwise, you're going to pay a premium. Moving ahead to trend number 10, the land grab. So understanding where there's opportunity is going to be huge in your dirt to dollars, because what we're seeing is trends right now with development. Development trends are needed. If we don't have enough homes and the homes are surging in price and we can create more opportunity for the mid-size homes, why not be there? Why not provide that when the economics around that still work? So opportunities that you'll see: decreasing land prices, pilot programs, shifting developer strategies, and expansion to smaller towns. Across the board, I'll give you the general of what this means. It means national developers are increasing the amount of building that they have significantly. So in those areas, instead of doing large communities, they're doing spot lots, and they're doing smaller developments within suburb communities, because the economics work. When they look at their shareholder returns in these areas, they work. So what we're finding is that local developers are now competing with regional and nationals, or they're partnering with them in a JV model where they can build and they can do rev shares. And this is something I've seen healthy, and I guarantee you guys have not seen it. You probably don't even know a local developer is working for regional or national. That's something that's across the board, so plug into play where that goes into your community and find the developers, the land acquisitioners that are on those, so that you can develop a relationship with them. And last but not least, market is heating up smarter, quieter, and faster than before. I've never seen it heat up more, especially since January 1st and right now. So as you go into the spring market, no, people are going to be buzzing, but get through the noise and get to the signal, because if you don't, you're going to run around like a dog, sweating crazy, missing birthday parties, doing all of these things and not transact. My goal is to make you more effective to transact immediately. This way you can go back to your families. You can go back to your loved one. You can go back to your animal, whoever you want to do, or your passions. And you could do it with consistency, because it requires an entrepreneurial mind that's turned into a purposeful effect. The E to P theory that Gary Keller talks about is absolute the beginning of where you go, from being an agent of an entrepreneur to being a purposeful business owner in this commercial land. Key takeaways. Guys, our quotes and takeaways. Market's not crashing, it's recalibrating. What does it mean? Things have to shift. All of a sudden, you go through a 5-10 year period, what happens? Recalibration. Retail didn't die, it evolved. Retail's evolving. Brick and mortars are going away, service businesses are coming in, grocery anchored retail strips are hotter than ever. AI is not going to replace you, but it will expose you. If you're an agent, you're not using AI, shame on you. Get some AI courses. Everything on YouTube can explain this to you in a matter of minutes. Spend an hour a week, Get yourself into an AI position and build a couple of tools that you can use for your business to succeed. Now, developers, they're not scared. They're scared of missing a good deal. So moving ahead with developers, give them good deals, give them opportunities, give them clarity. Understand zoning, understand opportunity within that zoning, what's applicable. Outside of that, let them tell you what their vision is. And last but not least, infill in quiet areas. Developers are going into these areas, don't know that they exist. They're literally building single family homes, 5-unit homes, 10 apartments, and they're doing it with partnerships. You need to be able to get that partnership. If you're a landowner, maybe a JV, maybe we sell it to them, whatever it is, but it'll untap dirt to dollars like you've never seen. And what does that mean? I have untapped numbers for sellers that are wild in difference. If you're a seller that wants to untap a dirt to dollars valuation on your property, contact us today. Be happy to give it to you with no obligation, free of charge. That option for you, mixed with the price per square foot and the income and expense, will give you an option that you think could choose moving ahead to your next chapter.
Can you explain what a dirt to dollars evaluation exactly is?
Dirt to dollars evaluations are understanding a piece of land's potential may not be based on what it is right now. So we turn the dirt into dollars. What can be put on this property that can quantify it and then sell to a developer based on that approved plan or that concept plan that we have? That will untap millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. And we've done it consistently with clients all across the board. Don't forget
The dirt to dollars valuation. If you don't, you may not survive in this real estate game. When you see somebody else sell it for double the amount of money or 50% higher, 20% higher because they had a great broker with a dirt to dollars strategy, don't come complaining. I'm teaching this to you guys right now. Untap your dirt to dollars.
You'll give it to them for
Yeah.
that valuation for free?
We give all free valuations for dirt to dollars right at your doorstep with an easy readable PDF and proposal. So contact us today for an easy PDF proposal of your dirt to dollars. Moving ahead, live Q&A, deal analysis, market questions, trends, evaluations, and zoning inquiries. And last but not least, subscribe. So we did it without an audience today, and it's Adam and I rocking right now. So we're here to answer questions. If you have anything, throw it in the chat. In the meantime, go ahead and like and subscribe. YouTube, Build with Bruce. You'll be following our journey and where we're at with guiding Northern New Jersey properties and developments to success.
Let's add some other part of this. I was thinking of a segment. Let's do pick a property that you want to go Google Earth and a development property, and let's just show the audience about it. Like Google Earth.
Like, you got my computer.
Yeah, I know. Or do you want to like Google Earth it and just because you got it live.
You want me to Google Earth a property right now?
Yeah, and like and explain what you did with this property, or like show Belleville, like go on the Red Zone Agency, and just show a property and be like, this is what we did.
All right, I would like to do that more structured, to be straight with you.
But let's just hop into that.
All right, cool.
Not sure what the value would be just jumping into that now.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't know. Just get a feel for it. I just wanted to see the breakdown.
Okay, so guys, we're live, and this just hit me. Adam hit me out of left field with something like this. Not sure exactly where I'm gonna go with this, but we're gonna do this in real time. This is us.
I'll go to a development.
Okay, so 24,
Wyckoff Ave, Waldock. Adam, if this doesn't fly, we'll cut this off on the live.
No, it's fine. Yeah, just go to and then just show the lot and then show the potential around it.
okay. Not thrilled or enthused about not having this structured prior, because otherwise now this is just off the cusp here. Guys, this is 24 Wyckoff Ave in Waldwick. This property right here is about an acre. You can transform it into 12 townhouses or possibly 30 plus apartments. You see it on a double yellow line corridor next to former Boston Markets, et cetera, et cetera. And what you have here is basically an opportunity. We're accepting offers right now on this property, right across the street from a grocery anchored store, and really good opportunity. We're gonna dive into these on a better structured basis next time. But
Can I go into the Google Earth and then just jump into that and just talk about the development. What's the development like? ideally going to be? If somebody wants to go into it,
Okay.
We're gonna end after this.
okay.
The development that we have right here is positioned for townhouses or podium builds. What we have is a piece of land that you have to figure out what the entitlement aspect of it is. What does that mean? It means units per acre. The units per acre on this site have to be reduced if you're gonna go with a high unit count and the town says no. What does that change? It changes it from apartments to townhouses. Because if I'm gonna put 30 apartments on here versus, let's say, 10 townhouses, that's a difference of 20 units. What does that mean for the town? It means that a high density project may be reduced. How do we do that? We reduce the townhouses to be a better viable product. Because in suburban towns, what we have is they want to see vertical, it's in townhouses versus apartments and buildings. It allows the streetscape to stay consistent, it keeps the values, things that the perception in the neighborhood stay straight. So that's for 24 Wyckoff. It's a good property that you guys should jump into. We're accepting and entertaining and going through offers right now. If you have interest, reach out to us.
And then check out behind. We got the Google Earth on there.
And there we go. And we got the Google Earth line.
Beautiful property. And then what's the lot? Is it over here as well?
Yeah, it's 7 acres. I'm sorry, it's just under an acre.
Okay. Is it, I'm assuming here to here to here? And then it also,
it goes all the way over.
it also has this back lot, correct?
Yeah, it goes all the way over here.
Oh, wow. This is a big lot. And then it's this parking lot? Or no?
No, it's not the parking lot.
Oh, okay. But yeah, beautiful property.
Thanks for staying locked in on Real Estate Rewired. This was episode 9. We got episode 10 coming up next, and that's going to be our finale for Real Estate Rewired in this series. We'll be coming out with a new series after that. In the meantime, stay locked in. We're looking at adding value, and as you can see, we're real as it comes. This is us. I didn't know I'm doing this today, and I wasn't familiar, but Adam is making sure that we improve, so we're giving you more things as they come. Stay locked in.